Hello, welcome to this first second channel. We are here to Ace Attorney. So we're finally going to see the tigers on the stand. We are here to get rid of, well, gaining back our tranquility. Okay, never mind. We almost got the case now, Nick. Wish I could agree, huh? When I cross-examined Sandra just now, he said I was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But I gotta pick it up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if that he testified is the truth. As a matter of fact. You mean you think Miss Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if the line of the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to... Hey, pal. Hey, Gumshoe. Oh. Not hear you jumpy about detective. Your hair is standing to an end. Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little top, Miss Top Knot. I'm not a top. It's not a top knot. Sorry, I'm not a top knot. Yeah. No matter about the hair, just calm down, right? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get a boon up. Ah, not kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. We'll get some prints analyzed for you if you get good an hour. An hour? The trial will be reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card, pull out the bag, we are really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprints analysis done on an hour, right? In that case, would you mind checking the prints on the bottle? It's probably the prints of Tigre. If you're going to bag on the station anyway, could you find out that those prints are on this? Oh hey, that's the small bottle I gave you back to this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time to resolve the last mystery of the prints on it, you know? Sure thing, pal. Actually, it has been gnawing at me too. No bother, give it to the detective, aren't you? I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Sure, buddy. Sure, buddy. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. I will now recommend you find the Folio Tigre. I even named him for you. Tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. 3 cups? Tamed him? The guy named maybe Furo Tigre, but come on. He is pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites. Very well, please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Don't hide under the table, Maya, unless there is room for me down there too. Oh, what do you mind? What you say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing. Nothing, to be honest. What you guys are here will induce a bad Brooklyn accent into the judge. I don't even know how Brooklyn accents are like. You got business to take care of you, hear me? So what the hell told me into this? Was it you, Spikey? No, of course not. It was the judge. Disappear. Yana! Oh dear. I seem to have dropped my pen. Where is it on the earth? Is it? Don't mind me just carrying with the proceedings as normal. That's it. But you didn't hear me, I said. Who the hell was that coming here? There's no need to shout, we can all hear you. What you say? There's no point in struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. I'm the one that hold you. Too cool. Too cool. Let you get better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, right? Incident? I know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy. I mean, you didn't attend the previous trial with Maggie Bly, did you? Maggie who? I got important things to do. Watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then? Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright. He was the one who said this out, didn't you? You're gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear me what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Get a grape, Nick? I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up in business December last year, spent all my time in my office. Gone well sign up and borrow cash from Thunderland every single day. You just wanna check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. Alas, I found my pen. I found my pen! Very well then. Resume. What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that you got in Blue Blaze. That loafer ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. My whole life, me? Listen now, Smarty. Every time you ask me some dig that doesn't relate to these cases, I'm gonna bill you $50,000 and you're gonna borrow the cash from me. That's the one loan contract I refused to sign. And I think I'm gonna go hurt right at you tackle with the tiger. Go. Stop sniffing. Oh, good spectators. This is not a sport. What is a fucking coliseum? Seeing this bloody mauling him at this point. Just a minute, that is really hot. This written is, how can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. You know he's bad size and will bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You better be listening. I said, got business to take care of. Big business. I don't split now. I ain't gonna catch my bus. I will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of the witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick! Come on, everyone under there already, will you, Maya? Are you sure about that? We are talking about 1 month ago, you know? You see this thief? That's the shop on my secretary is. Shop? Is he talking about Cadaverini? He writes everything in my schedule. December, mainly in the office. That's what I say, so that's where it was. That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What the tiger did the whole December isn't the issue. What's important is that what he was doing today for the murder. So now what? Mr. Tiger, what's yours what? You don't mind going into a bit more detail? Objection! Is that a dead end, right? Then you know it. Remember the rules. No, it's essential that we establish a witness alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December the 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe you ain't listening. Of course I was. Never set foot outside. Had meeting all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I had never seen that young kid before. I believe the witness' last statement was important. Mr. Gallo, if you could please. Mr. Tigre, the court asked to the last statement in your testimony. Don't let the animal beat you, being a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. The calendar. Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenelg, but it appears that Mr. Glenelg knew you. What? Mr. left his little note on his calendar. Meet with Tigre, the tiger, at the date December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder! So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you indeed know one of Mr. Glenelg, because of the very day of the incident you met with him. Not bad, you's actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with you to see how good you are. You hear that, Nick? He said you are not bad. There's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. He's calling me a liar? Is what you're doing? Hurrah! Hurrah! You're saying that your claim to have never seen the kid before is the truth. I said I'm that serious, you better believe that's the truth. Huh. Then I say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. Pure black magic. How the fuck you call it? Okay. That's why you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the co-witness? You never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie after all. It's time to nail this guy. Nail him. I ain't no lie, I never met him. There was some lame guy with the name though, and went to borrow cash from me. So I'm meeting with me, the guy at my office, the lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. Ain't never even been in the young joint, you see, here. I see. That all seemed perfectly logical. He had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. I heard it's pretty hard to get an appointment when you're dead. Very well, you may be in close examination. Jesus. It's pretty hard to get a point if you're dead. It's like, what the fuck, Gato? They thought you got a big deal going down today. I'm gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That base going straight to you. Right. So, Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell to the court about these matches? Matches? What are you talking about? We found them in your office at Lender. They are from that restaurant. What? If you're really never been to Trebian before. What was a book of the restaurant matches doing your desk? You've been snooping around my stuff now too, wise guy. What are you doing in my ball chain? Ain't no broad controlling. What the hell? I don't even know how he sounded like. Order! Well, witness, I think it's time for you to start to tell us the truth. No? Ooh, sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me. And no, pussycat, I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? You just simply lied. But listen good, man. I may have been there, but I still never meet the kid. Well. Looks like an order just came in on for another testimony. Okay, it's getting messy. It is close to proving it. He didn't meet Glenn Elg that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. I was supposed to meet the with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out on the table, stiff out on the concrete. I figured out if the police wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I had the cop's sirens on my way out, so I went straight back to my office. Wait, what? I see, you didn't actually meet with him then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it! If I wait around any longer, I ain't gonna make the normal express. No more stupid question. Huh, no problem. Anytime if I pressure you on something relevant, I'll see he pays it. Mr. Goddard, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The special express ain't cheap, right? Just use no, since you's paying. Use? You say use? Use it? Use it paying? I don't know. A man doesn't rule the law mean anything around here. Yeah. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix clutches. Oh, that sounds actually cool, strangely enough. I think it's the time we got something straight. What's this, right? A new line of irrelevant questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing in the entrance, Mr. Tigre. From there, you feel off the vision would have covered an area or something like that. From there, like something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Is that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you will remember that between each of the tables, there's a huge wall. There's a tall partition. Why? That's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. The entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the entrance of Trebian, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met him. Objection! Wrong! Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at this table. But the defense just proved that the point of the moot to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn L, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out as a charade. That will do. His trial has gone long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Elk, and the impersonator his victim is a performance of Mr. Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright revealed the identity of such criminal to the court. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tiger. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Gao? Oh, that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger's the king. So as you say again, come on, you got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tiger. It's the defense. Go ahead, tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sound to me like must you be you, old man. You should go guts. I give it that. Mr. Wright! Do not leave me to handle this alone. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Goda? Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no. Because having girl brought his Giovacchino bag, she put something. There's no question about it, she was very conspicuously put some white powder in there. For sugar, boy. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The bad man he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was... very impressive, Mr. Garu. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. What the fuck? Found your pen at last, right? It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, supposedly Mr. Glenn Elk, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? And the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Elk was really the killer in disguise, then surely it is possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was also an imposter as well? Among us. The defendant, Miss Wright, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting hatch to an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. All this in like half an hour. Well, that was very quick. What else was it? What's this waitress you're talking about? It can only be one person. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of the Dandalander. He's making a big mistake. You know who Violator grandfather is. You better go home with your arm and truck tonight, if you know what I mean. Stop shaking me. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bide, was stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of a creepy. She had a kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim table, nobody but Miss Body seemed to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that adrenaline was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposed to listen to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. He's sorry? He's alright, I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I do. Something to think about? You got it all wrapped up, nice, huh? Right? But you missed out on a real important thing. That can be. I was enjoying that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have a poison name, you see? What? Do you really expect us to believe you, Mr. Tigre? What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we are going to need another one for the road. A mug. I've got to sipping the coffee. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Oh my god. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened to that day at 3 p.m. between yourself and the victim? Yeah, I loaned Al cash about $100,000. That day we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay now. I'm about to flatter the guy when he started screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, really lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she done, everything would have been over. Now I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Alk was $50,000. Yeah, well, he's got the Vic to take into account. Interest build up fast, That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got $500,000 just in time. So I have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it?
Hold it!
The waitress, The girl with the glasses that I found that chair well scored at me. If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over to done. Maybe I should push a little on this. What do you mean things would have been overdone with? Are you so your what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100 back, that's all, I'm business. It was all coming together if that waiters got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigger had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The motive, huh? So, Baba.
Objection!
So you just intend to get back $100,000 Miss Al owe you, correct? I loaned the guy, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Miss Al, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after.
Objection!
What are you getting? What else would moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but not the money in totally different league. The kind of money that single disc like this will fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MacBomba. A computer virus? What does one of those do? Computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the inside of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess that bed isn't the only part of his honor. That is from the Stone Age. I explained to you afterwards, Your Honor. Right now, this is an important point. A virus like MacBomber will be worth several million of dollars on the black market. Several $1 million. Any money with no hope of ever seeing repayment will normally be a bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Alk had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Alk was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Miss Alk put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection!
You are trying to suggest the witness motive was to get hold of that program. Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, right? A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. What if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure on the luxury choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? What did Mr. Tigger need to do? $1 million. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic incident, aren't you? An incident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she was underwent surgery. How much this you know? His medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should be sued this HMOS. No one will pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital will end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigger had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Order. You think he's lied upon of it, Mr. Wright? Indeed he did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. You say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Boa. The life was in danger unless you pay compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire $1 million, Bruto Cadaverini demanded it of you. So desperate in fact that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elk life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigger's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glenn Elk had no ways of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigger knew it. But then a miracle happened. Kind of Mr. Tigger would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, neither can I. The lottery won. Exactly, the 11th hour Mr. Alg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigger with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least not legitimately. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy. He murdered Glenn Alg and then made his next move to frame Maggie Birdie for the crime. Mr. Tigger posed as Glenn Elk, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Birdie, and they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish the witness. The witness being the one who all here testified yesterday, Mr. Victor Trudeau. Like I said, I tried, there's a crazy no one could pull off a stunt like that. Well, Stardust, there's no way the child could have been kept in the dark about it. But Mr. Armstrong was in from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Godo? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. He had no choice but to go along with the Mr. Tigger plan. Order. Okay, that was quick. You put a good show, Spiky. If you just want to stay alive in the loan shop business, you gotta be careful. You're saying I dress up like that kid creator witness and friends. If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. Ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bride had no way out. Another Mr. Wright? Interesting, why don't you feel us all in, right? What was tricky you performed? Sorry, what? Impersonated him was his biggest mistake. What on earth is that? What insulting anyone could be fooled by such childish imitation? Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day of the in question. A month ago in this very court you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing here, this very cold, a mere mountain. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I have ever seen. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove that attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that he was him? Hey, forget about it, yeah. I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, no? Have you not priced, sir? This is a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, try to hear and cool will deal with people's life. Mr. Godo is right, Your Honor. Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced the attorney in question was the witness standing before me. Now, however, I preside over this court as the judge with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigger are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we come so far. You say he impersonated Glenn Elk, you say he impersonated you, but none of that adds up to a murder charge. We don't have the shared evidence that witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Sucked to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger. You're gonna be mauled, you score that? All we managed to do here was to chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Looks like I won't be needing to refill. If I just have one more piece of evidence, then maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. His witness cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tyler. Your Honor, sir. Why? Detective Gumshoe. Sorry it took so long, pal. I take everything on this, my badge, the words. Oh, here it is. Harris County on this too. What is it? It's obvious, pal. It's the final, decisive piece of evidence. What? I clicked right. Too soon. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the result from the lab. Result? About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle. Oh, so? Do you know who the prints belong to now? You think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us, there are tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Here's a crystal all over the bottle. There are full of tigers' paw prints all the time. Oh, we got him now, Dick. What's wrong with you? You hardly say a word since the Hattie Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I don't know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on the bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? All we need to produce this staging trial is irrefutable evidence that the target put poison in Lynn's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. Ouch. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I never had any news. Do you find any other prints? Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright, I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. I'm Detective Gumshoe. Maggie, you've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. You're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now. Detective Gumshoe, wait. He's gone. Is there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. That's right. Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you could prepare this evidence, the decisive evidence you discovered. Yes? Don't keep us all in suspense, try show us. Naturally, we can assume this evidence that will actually stand up in the court, can't we? Think Phoenix. Don't let your hard work go to waste. How much more of my time is gonna waste. Ain't been knocked to court before. Your lawyer is sure to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here, but maybe if he thinks he got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting longer, Mr. Wright. So you presented. This is the final piece of evidence. Is that the victim's... Your Honor, naturally the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle, however interesting new information has come to light. I have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone here knows that this bottle is complete, except one man. One person is corporate thereof. My prints are over the fancy looking bottle, is that what you say? Well, what the hell is in it anyway? A phony trial, a phony lawyer, a phony proof. Everything about this case has to be phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Miss L, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You make a good clown, you know that. What? This ain't never gonna get this to stick. He's just making me laugh. You think a chick bluff like that and you're gonna fall for the tiger? Bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix. They ain't the bottle with the sign on it. No. This is the bottle we found tracing of the poison. Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get ripped. The side of the bottle was brown, it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash. Look nothing like that. That was a big mistake, tiger. Got him, at last. What? Why is everyone gone quiet? I said the bottle. Is this bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. The bottle that the cider was in. Are you gonna find prints on that bottle? Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That's lawyer just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell the guy you were to go. You still haven't figured out. Do you realize what you just said? What I said? You just said what's saying. We're summoned to this call for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all these little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now you slipped out in front of every single person in this court. You described the sad bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. You don't know who's you're messing with? I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars of the black market. You think I'm gonna let John Boss you get bad on me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. Those all play out by you, the biggest phony of all. What the hell? What's going on? Looks like a blackout. Ouch. Well done. Try it. Save my 7-cup of cod just for you. Savor it. Wow, you didn't miss even though into the blackout. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Mr. Wright, you call it a tiger by his toe, but if this one holders, he won't be let go. Oh, okay. Now then, how are everything's going with Mr. Tiger? He's being arrested on suspicion for the murder of Glenelg, you know? You know? Unfortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bride was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was, and in the absence of a genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of tongue. Poor tiger is a truly frightened criminal. Huh. The truly frightened one. Is that defense attorney over there? Godo. Well, I am now in position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bardi, guilty. That's all. The call is adjourned. Jeez Louise. Mr. Wright, I'm lost over words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble I'm under. But now I feel like I can't forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick, it's the doorway. Daddy Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be banished. Banish. Daddy Gumshoe. Yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Oh well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective! He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even any use! But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. That Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can you put in good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya is right. Maya is right. I should have Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie, you know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. Well, to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me. That's why he thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Freedom! Have the winners.
Take that!
Here you are, present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe made him with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies, you know? I really like weenies, you know? Do you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know? Yeah, to try to drag on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this? No. Go for it. Was meant for you anyway. So, how was it, Maggie? It's really good. So, the case of the phony, the false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. Okay. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life's about to start. Is it though? A brand new episode has been added. Don't forget to save. Anyway, thank you. Thank you to be part of this journey. I'm actually getting very dying side, but it's cool. I'm tired as hell. I'm doing this in a terrible time. Well, take care of yourself and stay healthy. Lovely, bye.